Hey everyone, this is Eric from Clay, and I'm here with Kyle from ChatMetrics, and we're going to go over a little bit how they were using Clay, how they saved a ton of time to achieve the same level of results, and now they don't have as many humans in the loop. Kyle, thanks so much for sitting down and doing this with us.
Of course, huge fan of Clay.
Yeah, really
Like
appreciate it.
huge fan of
Yeah,
Clay.
yeah, I love it. I've got Clay swag though. Hopefully we can catch you up on it. So could you just start off by saying what's your workflow and how are you doing it before Clay?
So before Clay, um, all of my time was spent researching every single day, 25 companies. That was my goal. Every single day our messaging we found out works really well when we go find out who a company's top 3 competitors are, what type of chat tools their competitors are using, and what their response times are. And so what we had to do before Clay was I would go into G2, I would go into Owler, I would go into different SEO websites, I'd go on to Trust Radius, literally like 8 different sources. Because if you go to G2 and Owler and all the different sources, they're all going to tell you something a little different. And so what I had to do to make sure that I get the competitors right is find the strongest trends. And so if I'm researching Google and Microsoft is listed 6 times out of the 8 different companies I'm researching, that's probably their number 1 competitor. But if Adobe is listed once, like it's probably not a good competitor. So I was going through doing all of that, finding the trends, using my no formula. It was just like intuition, gut. These seem like the trends. And it'd take me like 15 minutes to research a single company. We would have to make up their competitors' response times because like that's just going to take too much time for me to actually do. So based on the different tools that you're using, we would just assume response times. But it was working really, really well. We were booking meetings with anywhere from 10 to 15% of the companies we were reaching out to.
Okay,
But
yeah.
volume was super low though. And so we were like, okay, how do we scale this? And so we're like, all right, I can't do this. My responsibility at ChatMetrics is ultimately new revenue. And so I couldn't spend all of my time researching and running sales calls and closing deals and managing customer success. And that's kind of all that I was doing. So we hired someone to just do the research. And there were some challenges there. Actually, we hired 2 people. One person churned, that's not the word, left. And then we had to hire another person, and they were a lot less productive than me because I think when you're in the space, you just see things really quickly and you move a little bit faster than someone you're hiring that has no idea what software companies, who is who, and like a lot of nuance there that was kind of proving to be difficult to train people on and took a lot of time and a lot of inconsistencies. And so when the second person left, it's kind of like, all right, we can either hire another person, or I feel like bots are pretty powerful nowadays and we can probably find bots to do most of this work. And so I don't even remember how we found Clay, but we found it.
Yeah.
And kind of slowly like, okay, we can use Clay to scrape like G2 or Owler or whatever, and like that'll be good. But then like as I got into it more, I would work with some of your customer engineers, Eric in particular,
Yeah.
and be like, hey, can we use like some algorithms to like score these and stack rank them? And like, because it's really important that we get these competitors right. If I get them wrong, I go to spam and I can't send emails anymore.
100%.
But if I get them right, they're opening the email, because if I see an email about my top 3 competitors and I see their names in the subject line and the first line of the email, I'm going to open it because that's all I think about all day, every day. And so, oh, no problem. Like I'm going to build these integrations real quick. So like an hour later, I have these integrations that basically scrape all the different sources I was looking for, score them based on frequency mentioned and whatever I needed to score them off of. And all of a sudden I can insert a list of 10,000 domains, and 2 seconds later, everything's running, and I don't know, what, 30 minutes to
Yeah.
finish a list of that size. Now I have my whole TAM completely scored based on who their, research based on who their competitors are. So that's great. But I was like, okay, there's so much more that Clay can do than humans can do.
Well, and so
So
let's pause there. So you
yeah,
said that you hired people to be able to do this research. Was Clay able to replace those people and their manual efforts?
times 100.
That, yep. Perfect. Yeah. All right. So
And
now you've replaced, somebody manually doing this. Now keep
the
going
cost of
forward.
Clay is less than the cost of what we were
Oh,
paying people
100%.
to
And
do
then plus
this.
the time too.
Yeah,
The time. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. What was your?
So then now, okay, so you've replaced your current process. You were like, this is the thing that I need to solve. What'd you take forward with Clay
Yeah.
to keep going?
So I kind of realized that anything in the world is possible with Clay. Like if there's a will, there's a
I love
way.
it. Yep. Yep.
And so there's all kinds of great integrations in there, but there are also like there's like an open, if you can find an endpoint to do something for you, you can plug it into Clay too. And so there's a lot of specifics in what we do that Clay didn't have natively built, and so just went out and found a partner to basically go build out bots that are testing response time so that I'm not having to make anything up, to go actually find who the live chat providers are live on a company's website and demo
Yep.
pages,
Mm-hmm.
to go find how much website traffic month over month these companies have. They go find that. I click a button in Clay, plug in the endpoints, and it's all there. Contact data provider. They build me an endpoint to go find all the actual contacts at these companies that I should be reaching out to. Smart Lead now has, so it's like I can click a button now, and the goal is to never have to think about prospecting, because Clay's done it all for me. My job is to run meetings and every once in a while like refresh messaging and like come in with new ideas, but like I'm not spending time anymore thinking about prospecting, thinking about a team of prospectors, like having to train them and like make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Like as long as Clay's in business, I'm in business. Ooh, that was good.
Yeah,
That
I
was
was just gonna say, all right, that's a tweet. That's going out. And so now, I mean, there's so many things that we could dig into, because that's exactly how we are using Clay on the team as well. Like we're running outbound campaigns where literally we just feed it data, and then we are sending totally custom campaigns. And we're even like, if people don't fit a criteria, we're just shutting we're just not even reaching out to the lead, like, because it's not even worth it to reach
yep.
it out to them if we don't have the data. Yeah, so now I guess I really just want to hammer it home, because people always ask about this. When it comes to the data quality, it's right there next to if somebody had manually researched the data themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because a lot of times people are like, well, what about the quality and how is this and everything? And I love that what you said about how, if there's an open AI, not open AI, geez, think about that all the time. If there's a API, you could just bring it into Clay. Because all the time people are like, well, what's the data quality like in Clay? That's like, wrong question. Because it just integrates with everything.
The it could, so I'll add some color there. Like it could be bad if you didn't use Clay the right way. But if you use Clay the right way, it's gonna be perfect all the time if you tell it what to do.
Yeah. Garbage in,
Like,
garbage out, of course.
yeah. Um, we get all kinds of like company names that are wrong, unnatural, like Incs and LLC, and like company names that would sound awkward if I mentioned them in an email. But Clay just normalizes everything you want to normalize and turns the data. It's coming from the live source, and then it just normalizes it, makes it sound human.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, You're nailing it on the head here. I'm trying to think of like, okay, so now at ChatMetrics, a lot of, well, at other companies, right? They are all thinking about, okay, if we need to scale, we need another SDR, we need another closer, we need another customer success person. At ChatMetrics, how are you thinking about, okay, now if you wanted to 5x this tomorrow, how are you going to do it? Do you have to hire anyone?